Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Country Clucker Farm. I'm sorry it's been a while since I did a video last, but we have been stuck in a very rainy weather pattern, and today is one of the first days it's actually dried out. So we are going to go visit the flock. It's flock o'clock. My name is Noelle. I'm a backyard chicken keeper, and I've been doing this for 12 years. So there's a hum of lawnmowers in the air just around my house because everybody's mowing their yard because it's finally not raining. So even with that going on, we're gonna go forward. So as I'm being escorted by my flock to the shed, take us there, Smog. Let's go, buddy. I will introduce today's topic. Well, I have had a request by one of my followers, and I want to say thank you very much, to do Silkies. So today we are going to talk about the Silkies as our breed profile today. I did a breed profile on the Polishes a couple weeks ago now, and so today we're going to do the Silkies. So let me take care of the natives first. They're restless. Okay, girls, if you want scratch, you've got to let me up here. Okay, here we go. Woo! Made it to the shed. Are you girls ready? Are you ready? You're just gonna play and come on in, huh? Okay. So when I come back here every afternoon, I give them a couple cups of scratch. This is just like cracked corn. You girls ready? Enigma, you're on the wrong side. And we'll give them one more cupful. You girls, you want some Enigma? Need some on your side? Okay. Well, today we're going to discuss the Silkies. Well, the Silkies have, or I should say, are world renowned for being one of the most docile and friendly breeds. And I will have to say, after owning them for a good amount of time, I'm going to have to concur with that. But before we get into the personality traits, I think it's probably good to note that the Silkies are one of the oldest chicken breeds. In fact, they date back to the Han Dynasty in China, and they were originally from China. And there is, or I should say Marco Polo even noted on his trips around China on the Silk Road about a chicken that had fur like an animal. So here is Lady Me. She's this black Silkie here that's next to Smog, partaking of the scratch. So this is a very old breed. It's a very ancient breed, and it's a very much of an oriental breed. They are very much from China and from Asia and from that part of the world, and they made their way to the West during the time of basically the Silk Road, when there was trade between China and some of the other countries, and eventually made their way to the West. So that's a little bit of the history of the Silkie. But as far as their temperament and everything, I'm gonna talk about that now. And just like Marco Polo did note, that the Silkie kind of got their name from their plumage. So they do have feathers, they do not have fur. But their feathers do feel like fur because their feathers are lacking the barbs that would actually grab on to other portions of the feather that would then create the feather as we are familiar with it. So what the Silkie lacks, although they do have feather, their feathers lack the barbel soles that would then make it a smooth surface. So it's kind of got a frizzy, whoa, goodness gracious. So it kind of has a frizzy, almost a fur type texture and also appearance to them. And for this reason, they do need a little bit of special care. So Silkies do not like to be wet. So due to the fact that they lack the barbel soles and due to the fact that their feathers don't really protect them from moisture like, you know, a normal chicken feather like these girls here, when they're out in the rain or they're out or they get wet, the water does not beat off of their bodies like other chickens who have feathers would, you know, because they lack that structure to their feathers. So what this means is that the Silkie will actually get wet to the skin. Now, during the warmer months, that's not really a problem. My Silkies get, like the rest of the flock, they get caught out in the rain all the time. But during the warmer months, it's not really a big deal. It becomes a real problem during the colder months, because when they get wet during the colder months and it gets cold at night, they can literally freeze to death. So so you have to make sure that whatever habitat that you put them in, especially during the winter, it has a roof, it is a covered pen, and water cannot get in, because if they get wet, really wet, and then the temperature falls at night, they're going to basically freeze. It would be like us walking outside in cold temperatures after getting out of a shower. I mean, it just would not be comfortable, and it would create hypothermic conditions, which is what can happen to Silkies. So if you have Silkies, you need to keep that in mind, especially if you live in a colder climate. As far as the temperament of Silkies, their nickname, or they're sometimes called the teddy bears of the chicken world, and I would have to say that is absolutely correct. Silkies are great with kids. They can't fly, so you don't really have to worry about your Silkies, you know, being able to fly over a fence or anything like that, because due to their feather structure, they cannot really attain much lift. So they can flap their wings, they might get a couple inches off the ground, but that's about as all they're gonna do. So they're very easy to keep contained, which is another good thing about the Silkies, is if you have a run that's outside, and when you say, I want my chickens to be contained in this area, the Silkies will stay in that area. Where some of the other breeds, like the Polishes and stuff, they can very easily fly over fences. Even some of my Polishes have flown over my big 6-foot fence. But for the majority of the time, they do remain in the backyard, because this is their home. This is where all their resources are. So when they do fly over the fence, it's usually done out of fear, or sometimes if they spread their wings just the right way and there's a wind gust that gets in it, they can then hurl them over the fence. The Silkies, that's not an issue. They are very much ground-based birds. And they're great with kids. They're very docile, they're very friendly, they really like to be held, they enjoy interactions with their keepers. And that's both good and bad, because my Silkie roosters, bless their hearts, they're not the greatest protectors of the flock. So if there's a danger, or if there's a presence of a situation that they need to take action, they would much rather hide underneath a rock than actually do what a rooster is supposed to do, which is protect the girls. So if you have just Silkies and you have a couple of Silkie roosters, you need to understand that they're not really going to be the best protectors of your flock. So free ranging your Silkies without other roosters around could probably make them vulnerable to predators. So my Silkies are out, but as you can tell, I have a mixed flock, and I have a lot of other roosters that pretty much pick up the slack that my Silkie roosters leave, which is basically protecting the flock. So if there's a hawk scare or if there's a predator scare of some kind, my other roosters like Smog here and Pantophobia and Enigma. There's Enigma's over here. It's, well, you want underneath the shed. And then we have Link. My other boys will basically pick up the slack that my Silkie roosters are not able, or basically fill the role that my Silkie roosters are not able to fill. So I have had no problem with my Silkie roosters. They are just as docile and just as friendly as the hens. In fact, I have 3 Silkie roosters that roost together with the girls in their coop, and I don't even have any issues with them fighting. So I would not free range my Silkies on their own. If you do have them out and like a chicken tractor, or you have them out in a run that's covered, that would be fine. But to just leave them out in the yard, free range them like I do this flock with just your Silkie roosters, they're going to be an easy takeout meal for any kind of predator. So that being said, they would be great for backyards in the cities. So if you're a city chicken person and you have a small yard and you're just allowed several hens, omitting all roosters or whatever, Silkies would be a great option for that for that setup, because they're very ground-based, they're very docile, they're very friendly, they're not really noisy. So out of all of the girls that I have, my Silkies are the quietest, and my roosters, believe it or not, are fairly quiet. Now that doesn't mean that they don't crow, they do, but their crow isn't as loud as some of the other roosters. Like the Polishes are very loud. The Polishes, even the girls, are very chatty. The Silkies are not. They're very quiet, they're very calm. And even my Silkie roosters, even when they crow, they're not really loud, but they do crow. But they're pretty much the Zen masters of my flock out here. So they're a great breed for a backyard in the city, an urban backyard. Let me see, egg laying. Okay, Silkies are not the best egg layers. They will lay eggs, but if you want to keep chickens because you want eggs, Silkies would not be the best pick for you. Let's see, my Silkie girls, I might get 2 eggs a week per hen, 1 to 2. Now my girls that I have for laying, such as my Australorps and my Americanas, and then I've also got the Wyandottes, I can get 3 to 5 eggs per hen per week. So that kind of gives you an idea of what kind of production you can expect from a Silkie flock. And their eggs are small, so they're not the real large omelet eggs. They're very small, so you would need like 2 or 3 to make an omelet. So that kind of gives you an idea of their egg potential. But what they lack in egg potential, they will serve you in their demeanor and their personalities. Like I said before, they're great with kids. My boys love the Silkies. They're easy to hold. They tolerate handling. They enjoy attention. They really like bonding with their caretakers. Let's see. I'm trying to think of any other things with the Silkies. Link, what are you doing? This is Link here. He's he's high octane. Oh, we got a dust bath going on over here. Well, this is my gray barber, and my girls enjoy dust bathing at the base of the gray barber. So if you ever see your chickens doing this behavior, they're okay. they're fine. They're just dust bathing. So they're gonna dig themselves a little hole. And they're gonna see. Now that was a Polish rooster. They're pretty loud. They're gonna dig themselves a hole. They're gonna sit in it, and then they're gonna use their back feet to kick up all the dust. And this dust bathing is great for their feathers. It helps them to keep their feathers healthy. It also, hi Athena. This is Athena. She's a white crested Polish that is always at my feet, pecking at my shoes. And so this is dust bathing here. It's a very natural behavior. They're not sick. They're totally fine. This for chicken would be equated to our spa day. So if you ever go to a spa and get a massage, get your nails done, whatever. This was pretty much their spa day. So Link is trying to find a spot, but all the dust bathing holes are taken. So, wow, they really enjoy dust bathing there. Trying to get a little closer without disturbing them. That's dust bathing at its finest. So you can see there that she's my little black chicken right there. She's using her feet to kick up that dirt. And over here too, just kicking up that dirt and rolling in it. And it's really great that they do this underneath my grape arbor, because grapes don't like to compete with any other plants, like weeds or anything. So I don't have to weed my grapes ever, because they pretty much do it for me. So this is my weeding crew. So, okay, back to Silkies. So if you keep Silkies, most people keep them as pets because they want to have they really make basically they are a great pet chicken to have. And a lot of people also keep them for show birds because they're very unique and they're very different looking. Oftentimes they place really well at shows. So they're more of a pet chicken, more of an ornamental chicken, a chicken for a backyard family pet type thing. So the Silkies are great for that. So if you want eggs and you want a lot of eggs, the Silkies are going to disappoint. But if you want to have a flock of very zen, very docile, a very laid back flock of chickens, Silkies are absolutely great. A lot of people, if their children want to do like a 4-H project and they want to do chickens, a lot of people choose the Silkies for that because they're not very demanding. They don't have a threatening disposition like some of the other breeds can have that are a little bit more high-strung, a little bit more jumpy. Silkies are not like that. They are just lay back. They are a very broody breed. So my silky hens are so funny. It's like they constantly stay in a state of broodiness. And when I say Silkies are broody, I mean they are broody. Okay, so little story for you. I had a bucket in my shed full of the old light bulbs that I put on my arbor. So on my grape arbor, I have these patio lights that you often see at restaurants on their patios. Okay, so I had a bucket and I was going around. I was taking out those lights and I was putting new lights in, and I was putting the old ones in a bucket, and I was going to take them inside and throw them away. Well, I had forgotten, and I had my shed open, and I went to do a hen count when we put our girls to bed at night, and I was missing the Silkie, and I'm like, where is she? So I looked in all the coops, just to make sure that, you know, she hadn't gone to bed and the other coops couldn't find her. And I was kind of starting to freak out, thinking, oh no, I'm missing a Silkie. This is not a good thing. Well, luckily, it was very cool that night, so there really wasn't an issue. What she had done is she had snuck into the shed while I was changing the light bulbs. And she's black, so, you know, I put that bucket in there and I was doing some other things, and then I went to shut the shed doors and I didn't see her because she's black. And so the next day I found her and she was sitting on that bucket of light bulbs trying to hatch light bulbs. And I tried to explain to her that, sweetheart, you cannot hatch light bulbs. This ain't gonna work, but she didn't listen to me. Anyway, a Silkie hen, when it has been said that a Silkie hen will try to hatch a rock. That is true. If there is anything that resembles an egg, whether it be a rock, a golf ball, a light bulb, they will sit on it. So one of the reasons I adore my Silkies is whenever I want to increase a certain number of a breed that I have, like if I want more Polishes, or if I want to have more where is everybody? Here we go. Or if I want to have more Australorps or something. And I don't like messing with the incubators. I prefer to let a broody hen do it, because then I can have a little bit more of a hands-off raising of the chicks versus having to constantly be, you know, worried about the incubator and the brooder and stuff. And so, but in order for that to work, you've got to have a broody hen. Well, whenever I want to have chicks, I can always count on one of my Silkie hens being broody. And so I have had some Silkie hens that have adopted some chicks, and if I ever want to increase a certain breed, I would just simply isolate a rooster and a couple hens to a coop, and then once the hens lay a couple eggs, you know, like a clutch full, I would then put it underneath one of my Silkie hens, and she would incubate, hatch, and raise those chicks for me. So if you live on a farm and you have a mixed flock like mine, Silkies are a great breed to have to utilize that broodiness factor, that broodiness trait that they have. So Silkies are very, very broody. Now, which also means if you have just Silkies in your backyard and you don't collect your eggs, chances are you will have chicks because they will sit on those eggs until chicks pop out of them, or they will sit on light bulbs till chicks pop out of them. So they are very, very broody breed. And that's one of their endearing qualities, because they are great mothers. If you buy Silkies and you want to have nothing but Silkies and you just want to keep propagating your Silkie flock, they will do that for you. So that is another breed trait that is either good or bad depending on your situation, depending on what you want. If you don't want chicks, just like normal, just collect the eggs and you won't have a problem. If you do want chicks, you can just let them sit on the eggs and you will have chicks in about 20 days. So depending on what you want in that, it's very easy to just kind of either collect the eggs or whatnot. But they are a very sweet breed. Even my roosters are very well behaved. So well behaved, like I said before, that they would rather hide underneath a rock when danger presents itself than actually defend the flock. So if you have them free ranging, you're going to want to have other roosters around that can pick up the slack because the Silkie roosters are going to run and hide. So this is the Black Pearl. This is the Silkie coop. I wonder if anybody's in here. Let's see if there's anybody in here. I probably got a couple hens in here sitting on eggs, believe it or not. Oop, come on, open up. Well, goodness gracious, there we have 2 broody hens right here. So this is little Miss Lady Me. This is Amy. Hi, what you got underneath of you, sweetheart? So this is her broody, so she's broody. So I've got 2 hens sitting in here in a nesting box. Here comes Pantophobia. So this is their coop. This is the Silkie coop. And they're small, so they don't take up a whole lot of space. So this coop that we have them in right now, it is sufficient for 6 to 8 chickens. And I only have, I've got several in here, so they have plenty of room. And they do have a covered run. So as you can see, they've got a roof on top here, so when it rains, they're not gonna get wet. And during the winter time, what I do is I will take industrial plastic or construction grade plastic and I will wrap their pen, so that way when it rains, the rain doesn't go in, so they will stay dry. So that is one of the main things that you need to make sure you do if you have Silkies, is if you live in a cold environment, especially during the winter, you've got to make sure that they stay dry. If they get wet, they can freeze to death. And I have had several people, you know, my readers contact me and say, what do I do? What do I do? You know, it's wet, you know, they got wet, it rained today, it's gonna be like below freezing tonight. And what I tell them is say, if you have a dog kennel, whatever you have, put them in there and like put them in your laundry room or put them in your garage for the night, so that way as they dry off, you know, by morning, they'll dry off by morning and they won't have froze to death because they're out of the freezing weather. But you can also just put construction grade plastic around the pen, and that does wonders. So that's the only thing about Silkies you really have to watch is that. So trying to see if there's anything else I can tell you about this breed. I will say that they are one of my favorites. They definitely are a pet chicken. There's Miss Lady Me right here. Hi. You want to say hi to the camera? So I have black, white, and buff Silkies. I have 3 colorations. They all roost together, so if you have different colors of Silkies, they will roost together and they will kind of, you know, be more than happy to be groupies. Hi, Miss Lady Me. They are very sweet. My boys absolutely love their Silkies. See, I don't even think any of my Silkie roosters have crowed the entire time I have been out here. It's been the Polishes that do most of the crowing. And then of course Smog here. When he crows, you'll know it. Isn't that right, Smog? Yeah. So it's mainly my Polishes that are out here. I don't even think any of my Silkie roosters have crowed. I have 4 Silkie roosters out here. So, okay, there's one that crowed. So that crow that was just, if you want to just go back a couple, 10 seconds or so, that crow that you just heard was my Splash Silkie rooster here. And that is Supreme. See, my Silkie roosters, they're not very loud. They don't crow very much at all. So hopefully I have educated or maybe even answered some questions that people may have. And I know this video was a request from one of my readers or one of my watchers, followers. Don't know what word to use. So I just want to say thank you very much, and I hope I have hopefully satisfied any questions that you have. And if I did not, please reach me in the comments and I'll see what I can do to help you out. So I'm sorry it's been a while, but we've just been in I don't know, this weather pattern where it's constantly raining and I just could not get out here. And then we're supposed to be getting heat next week. So all that heat that's in Texas right now, it's going to start coming up in our area. We live in East Tennessee, so yeah, it's going to be brutal next week. Anyway, so hi. So I guess my next video, if I don't have any requests from anybody, I'll do a breed profile on either my Wyandottes, which is Smog's category. And then I've also got some Australorps that I can do a breed profile on. You girls are getting in my tree. The antics of chickens. Oh, okay, so this is what's happening. Okay. This is an Arona berry tree. Bush. I planted it out here about 5-6 years ago, but it's got berries on there, and one of my Polishes have hopped in there and she's eating the berries, and the ones that drop to the ground, the other girls are getting. So this is and I totally don't mind that my chickens do this, because they pick from the bottom and I'll pick from the top, because this bush is huge. So she's in there, she's picking the berries, and the ones that drop, the other girls are getting. So I always figured that they did this, but I've actually never caught it on camera. So this is the first time for me to even just, oh, you girls are so funny, you know, because I can definitely tell that they've been pecking at it, because all the leaves down here are definitely, you know, look like they've been kind of picked at, you see down here. So this is how you girls do it. And all the stuff that I have planted out here, I don't mind if my girls partake. I've got blueberries, blackberries, grapes, Arona berries. And so I plant enough that, you know, they could have their share, because that's healthy for them too, as it is for us. This is teamwork. Okay, so there is Devros. He just crowed, and he's a Silkie. He's a buff Silkie. Those were not Silkies, those were Polishes. You got some help in crime here. You girls are berry picking. Oh wow, I have never caught this on tape before. Not on tape, on video before. I figured that they ate from this bush, because I could tell, you know, the leaves have been, you know, a chicken had been in there, but I just didn't realize. Oh, this is so funny. Yeah. Okay. Well, that was educational. And usually when I'm out here, this is Enigma. He's a mottled cochin. He's another one of my roosters that pick up the slack that my Silkie roosters leave. Woohoo! They're just flying up into this tree, this bush, and she's having a blast. You girls are funny. So a lot of the things I have planted out here, it's for the girls too. There's enough to go around. I have so much. So anyway, I'm glad I caught that. Okay, so for those that are interested in the grapes, I thought I would give you so these are our grapes. They've been pollinated, and these are now grapes that are setting on. And we actually have had a few that have actually already ripened. So they are in the process of ripening. See, and I've got blackberries in here, so I've got blackberries that grow with the grapes. So I've got all kinds of berries in here. see if I have any grapes that are ready. Don't think I do. My son was out here earlier and he was picking grapes. I don't think I have any more out here that are ready. But they're starting to hang down from the canopy, so I'm very excited about that. This has been something I've been waiting for a long time. And this is my grape arbor. And I still got girls but just bathing down here. Yay, they weed my grapes for me. Well, ladies, do we have anything else to say? Do we? Yeah. You girls have had your scratch and apparently Arona berries. Yeah. Well, I think that's it from the Country Clucker for today. And like I said, we've got some really hot weather coming starting here in a couple days, so I might not be back for a couple days. But once we get on the other side of that, I'll be back out to video the flock and talk to y'all. So I guess for this video we're going to wrap it up, and we will talk to you later.